A recent survey reports that 79% of Americans worry they don't have enough money for holiday gifts, and most of that worry sits squarely on mothers' shoulders. Today, we're peeling back the glittery paper on holiday giving to reveal the unseen mental load and what it's doing to our relationships. The holiday season can feel magical, but behind the scenes, there's often a tired parent, usually a mom, carrying dozens of lists, budgets, and hopes in her head. Research shows that women shoulder about 71% of the household mental load. And during the holidays, this invisible labor explodes. We'll explore why gift-giving creates stress and inequity, share real stories, reveal surprising statistics, and offer practical ways to ease this burden. You'll walk away with tools to reclaim joy, redistribute tasks, and strengthen your partnership. Hi there! If this is your first time here, welcome to the Parenthood and Relationship Podcast. I'm your host, Markella Kaplani, a psychologist, a parenthood and relationship coach, and a parent myself. Together, we explore the transformative journey of parenthood and its profound impact on our relationship with ourselves, our partners, and our children, so that we can be present and show up as we envision without having to do more. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to the Parenthood and Relationship Podcast. Now, we're almost done with our December series on holidays, traditions, and boundaries. And this episode builds on our previous chats on managing expectations and creating inclusive traditions. Today, we're focusing on gift giving, how this beloved practice becomes an invisible burden, and what you can do to make it more equitable and meaningful. So let's define a little bit what we mean by this mental load of gift giving. Mental load doesn't just refer to the act of buying presents. It is the hours spent making lists of recipients, remembering everyone's shoe size and favorite color, researching the perfect gift, and comparing prices, hunting for coupon codes, planning shipping times, wrapping gifts attractively, and making sure that stocking stuffers are age appropriate. It's the emotional labor of anticipating each child's hopes, negotiating budgets with your partner, and wondering how Aunt Maria will react if you decide to skip gifts altogether. This holiday mental load is a combination of invisible labor, emotional labor, and execution of tasks. Research from the University of Bath and sociologist Alison Daminger found that mothers perform 71% of remembering birthdays, planning events, managing finances, while fathers often overestimate what it is that they do and how they contribute. And then there's the time factor. The American Time Use Survey shows women spend about 2.16 hours per day on household tasks like cleaning, cooking, shopping, while men spend 1.39 hours. Women also spend 16% more time purchasing goods and services. During the holidays, these numbers spike. A YouGov poll found that 48% of women cook Thanksgiving dinner versus 25% of men. So while we picture the holidays as a time of togetherness, the cognitive and physical workload often falls unequally. But when we talk about load, and specifically mental load, we're obviously not just talking about tasks. It's about all these expectations and even the financial pressure. A U.S. News and World Report survey found that 79% of Americans worry that they don't have enough money for holiday gifts. That's something that we said in the previous episode as well. Now, when 71% of them are living paycheck to paycheck, then it makes sense that 36% plan to scale back their gift-giving budget. And 20% are even thinking of scaling back their traveling in order to be able to afford presents. This creates financial stress that doesn't just lead to anxiety, but it can breed resentment where one partner feels responsible for overspending or for sacrificing. Add to that social media's unrealistic images of these curated trees and matching pajamas, and it's no wonder that so many of us feel this weight. And now I'm thinking of this client of mine. I'll name her Sarah. And I'm thinking of how she used to remember her holidays, how beautiful everything was. And in becoming a mother, she wanted to recreate this. She created lists and budgets and gift ideas. She color-coded for each child. She would spend her lunch break scouring sales and then stay up at night to wrap gifts for everyone. And then one day her partner asks her, "Have you thought about what you're getting your mother for Christmas?" And there was this flash of anger. He wasn't taking on the task. He was just reminding her about it. And inside her, she thought, have I thought of it? I've thought of everything. In our sessions, she burst into tears and realized that her resentment wasn't about the question. It was about carrying the entire holiday on her own. And so what we did is we decided on what things she could slowly delegate, what things she could completely just let go of, and how she too can enjoy the holidays, not having to necessarily make them perfect for everyone around her so that she can also be happy. Through Sarah's story and so many others, we can see both pain and possibility. It's not about having a partner who doesn't care. It's about making the invisible visible and communicating about it. So why does the mental load often default to mothers? Societal scripts play a huge role in this. We grow up watching commercials and movies where it's the mom who orchestrates everything, this Christmas magic. She's the one that's baking the cookies, remembering everyone's preferences, and ensuring that everyone is satisfied. Social scientist Jody Day calls this the role of the kin keeper, the person who maintains family connections and traditions. For many families, the kin keeper is female. But this script isn't preordained. It's cultural. Even if you and your partner are both working outside the home, the expectation often remains on the mother, that the mother will manage the emotional labor of the holidays. There are also internal factors that play a role in this. For example, perfectionism and identity. Our culture tells women that a good mother ensures this holiday magic, and we internalize this idea that if we don't deliver, we are failing our family. Social media, obviously, like we have said in so many aspects, amplifies this. We just need to make it all immaculate. The result? Anxiety and exhaustion. On the economic side, the rising cost of living means parents are stretching their budgets. Many families are barely covering necessities, and so the expectation to keep up with gift giving is heavy, though it still remains. 8 in 10 Americans are worried about whether they can afford gifts. This worry is especially acute for those living paycheck to paycheck. And while many fathers want to help, they may not be able to see the invisible mental work, or they may believe that they've contributed more than they actually have. Understanding these causes helps us release self-blame. It's not that you're bad at delegating. It's that you've been socialized to shoulder this burden. And your partner isn't necessarily lazy. He may genuinely not know what goes into making holidays work. Recognizing these dynamics empowers you to change them. Now let's talk about actionable ways to reduce the mental load and share the gift-giving work. For one, you can start by doing a holiday inventory together. Sit down with your partner and list holiday-related tasks. That includes what we said before, the gift-giving, the shopping, the budgeting, the wrapping, the stocking stuffers, the cards, the travel logistics if you're going to travel, the meal planning. Use a shared document or a whiteboard. Then, decide who will take full ownership of each item. It's not about helping, but it's about owning the task from beginning to end. This includes the mental labor of remembering and reminding. This is the core idea of the Fair Play method that we have been discussing all of this month, and you will hear about more from an expert next week. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Secondly, you can set a budget and prioritize experiences. Money stress fuels the mental load. So instead, you can create a realistic budget that accounts for gifts, events, and travel. Discuss whether you want to shift from a pile of toys to a meaningful gift instead, or a family experience like ice skating or a holiday hike. Studies show that children cherish memories more than material items. If finances are tight, have an honest conversation with extended family about doing a secret Santa, drawing names, or setting price limits. Suggest homemade gifts or acts of service instead. Thirdly, you can simplify traditions and release perfectionism. Easier said than done, right? But you can ask yourself which rituals truly bring joy and connection, and which are you doing just because you internalized that you should. It's okay to let go of the elaborate cookie exchanges or the matching pajamas. Consider adopting the 4 gifts rule. Something you want, something you need, something to wear, something to read. This can reduce the shopping load. Or you can choose one signature treat instead of 3 different desserts. Remember that your presence and mood matter more to your children and your guests potentially than how many gifts are under the tree. Then you can also delegate and empower. Give family members a role. Maybe your partner is in charge of teacher gifts and shipping deadlines, while you handle the grandparents' presents. Older children can help by wrapping gifts or writing cards. Outsource what you can. Use gift wrapping services. Order groceries online, or have gifts shipped directly to recipients. If you're able, allocate part of your budget to a house cleaning session or a prepared meal to free up your mental energy. Another thing you can do is to communicate boundaries with extended family. If you've got relatives that expect lavish presents or complicated gatherings, talk to them ahead of time. Explain your plans and your limits. You can say, for example, we're focusing on experiences and we'll give 1 gift per person. Or we're going to be hosting brunch, but we'll skip the dinner this year. Boundaries do not have to be cold. You can express care while being clear about what you can and cannot do. Rehearse these conversations together so that you're united, and say them ahead of time so that you don't carry the guilt of having switched up the plans too late. Not that that's not okay if it happens, but just so that you can unburden yourself if boundary setting is already difficult for you. Another thing that will be very helpful is to plan ahead, even for those minute things, those tiny things that seem to not need planning at all. Mark shopping and wrapping days on the calendar and stick to them. Avoid last-minute panic by setting shipping deadlines and reminders. Also, schedule downtime. An evening with no holiday talk, a family movie night, or a quiet morning recharge. Stress is cumulative. Decompressing together reduces tension and fosters intimacy. Finally, but most importantly, practice self-compassion and presence. When you catch yourself spiraling into "this is not enough" thinking, please just pause. Remember the research. The invisible mental load exists. You're not making it up. You're not being lazy. Validate your feelings and make room for rest. Enjoy the small moments. Hot cocoa with your partner. Watching the children open gifts carefully chosen. Presence is more memorable than perfection. So, at this point, you may be wondering, why even go through this exercise? Even planning everything seems to be a lot. Well, the answer is simple. Because the mental load isn't just about time. It's about well-being and connection. When only one partner shoulders most of the cognitive and emotional labor, resentment will build. Stress about finances and tasks can lead to snapping at your partner or rushing through activities that you've planned without feeling any joy. By acknowledging the imbalance and intentionally sharing the work, you foster trust and intimacy. Children notice and learn from you as parents and partners on how to collaborate. They grow up with a healthier model of what partnership is. Easing the mental load allows both partners to be present and enjoy this season. It also prevents burnout and sets a precedent for everyday tasks beyond the holidays. A person I'm seeing wrote to me yesterday, actually, and told me that they tried the inventory list and it made such a difference on their upcoming Christmas. A lot of the arguments that they were having the years before didn't occur on the lead up to Christmas. They were able to notice a visible shift, and Christmas hasn't arrived yet. Instead of quietly stewing while wrapping gifts, they wrapped them together. They laughed, they kissed, and this will stick. This is what will stay when the holidays end. Putting this all together, and if you're going to walk away with only a few takeaways, I would love for you to remember that the holiday mental load is real, and it is a gendered issue. But we have the power to change it. Conduct a holiday inventory, set budgets, simplify traditions, delegate tasks, communicate your boundaries, plan downtime, and practice self-compassion. Sharing the mental load isn't just about the practical stuff. It's an act of love towards yourself and towards others that strengthens your relationship with yourself and therefore with others as well. If you would like more support in this work, you can go to markelakaplani.com/resources where you will find the mental load and equitable division worksheet. It can really help guide your discussions. And don't forget to sign up for the Sunday Reconnect, my weekly email with one insight, one exclusive tool, and one 3-minute reset to help you stay grounded and connected overall and throughout the holiday season. And if you would like more high-touch support with me, you can always find more information at www.markelakaplani.com or email me at info@markelakaplani.com. It would be my honor to be part of your journey. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this community. And thank you for doing the hard work to create equitable, loving families. Next week, we have an expert coming in to help us understand and internalize all of this. So make sure you stay tuned in. Until then, take care, share the load, and enjoy the moments that matter. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.